Raider Nation, what's going on? Mitchell Renz from the Raiders Report coming at you here today. We got some news and rumors around the silver and black. I wouldn't be able to do today's show if it wasn't for our awesome sponsor, Fetch Rewards. And anybody out there that, you go grocery shopping, you buy stuff at restaurants, save your receipts, take a screenshot of those receipts, and then you can actually go ahead and earn gift cards. Super easy to download this app. Just make sure you use promo code Raiders. That way you get 3,000 bonus points. This is by far one of my favorite apps out there on the app market as it stands. All right, so what we're going to be talking about here on today's show, got some Derek Carr extension rumors coming out. ESPN threw out some trade ideas in terms of 2 players, and then I'm going to give one of my trade ideas. And at the very end of the show, we're going to look at the Raiders offseason. So let's break down the Derek Carr extension rumors that are coming out. And, of course, Josh McDaniels at the press conference yesterday was asked, hey, what's happening with DC? What's the future looking like? Are you going to extend him? And McDaniels was a little bit short here, and we got some quotes coming up. I get it. Carr is entering the final year of his contract. He is scheduled to make $19.9 million in 2022. And I know there's a lot of people out there that want the Raiders to extend Derek. And I know there's a lot of people out there that don't want the Raiders to extend DC. But here's what Josh McDaniels had to say, because last time I checked, he's going to have a big say in this. I spoke with him yesterday. We had a great conversation, looking forward to actually getting to meet him and get to know him as a person, as a human being, and getting to work in terms of developing our offense this year into what is going to be. But there's no question we have the capacity and capability of winning with Derek here. We all know that, and I look forward to the challenge of trying to grow not only Derek, but everyone on the roster to reach our potential. I never feel like player is finished product, and our job as coaches is to continue to identify places where we might get better and work hard to try to improve. And I know he's completely on board with that. Again, we had a great conversation, and I look forward to our relationship. Well, what I really like about this is he gave an honest answer, and that's what McDaniels did yesterday, where I earned a lot of respect for him. Not, of course, he also admitted that it was a fumble, but he was an honest dude, and that's what I want. I wanted transparency, because the last time McDaniels was the head coach, players didn't like him, and he acted like an SOB. I like that he's going to weigh all his options. Him and Ziegler, they're going to talk about everything. They're going to make sure that they're making the best decision, and then they will make the final decision on what exactly is going to happen with Derek Carr. Now, I know this, man. If DC ends up getting extended, we're going to be making a video. If they announce that he's not going to, we're also going to make a video. The offseason is the most important time of the year to subscribe to the Raiders Report, because I don't want you to miss anything. And they always say, you win in the regular season by what you do in the offseason. So to make sure you guys stay up to date on news, rumors, and everything going on, and if there's breaking news, we will be going live. And we're going to be going live at least once a week. We're an interactive channel, so shout out to Michael, Rashissimo, Locke, Jose, Gary O. More subs, more videos, and it's 100% free, which is really hard to find in today's show. Now, coming up, we do have some more quotes from new general manager Dave Ziegler on kind of what he thought on the whole Derek Carr extension. I think the one thing that we all understand is there's going to be a process of us learning Derek learning us, and fitting all those pieces together. And I think that's going to be step one in building a relationship, understanding what Derek does well, Derek understanding what Josh and the offensive staff is trying to build, and I think that collaboration goes, then you kind of see how everything fits together. You have to see how everything fits together and kind of work from that point, and we're just really excited to have Derek here and get to know him and get to know his strengths and get to know what works with him in our system. So again, they gave very solid answers, and I really do trust Ziegler to do the process. I trust that both Ziegler and McDaniels are going to work together and get a collaborate unit in terms of what the final decision is, instead of just John deciding what he wants to do and then going with that. You're going to see a good team and process here, and I like already what I'm hearing out of Ziegler, and I like already what I am hearing out of Josh McDaniels. Now, we'll continue to break down all this Derek Carr stuff, but first, I got a question for y'all. Type E for extend or type P for pass. What should the Raiders do with DC? Do you extend the quarterback? He's got 1 year left, $19.9 million. Or you decide, you know what? No, we're going to go ahead and pass. E for extend or P for pass. My answer remains the same. I personally do not want the Raiders to extend Derek Carr. I think that he should go ahead and actually play on the 19.9, and then you wait to see after that. I get it. He might want to have a little bit more contract security, but if you can't live off $19.9 million in today's world, personally, I think that's, again, a little bit of a you problem. And if you truly want to help the Raiders succeed, the cheaper your contract is and the more flexible it is, the more it helps out the team. For all those reasons, make Derek play on 19.9, and then you wait to see. Now, I have a random question. So the other day, somebody asked me, what's the last picture that you took on your phone? And I was like, oh, shit, this should be a fun game. So I figured let's do this, okay? What's the last store you bought something from? Be honest with me. I want you to go down in the comments section and be honest. What's the last store you bought something from? Is it Walmart? Is it Target? Is it something that you're like, oh shit, if my wife found out I was buying from this man, she'd get really upset. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to save that receipt, and I want you to go to chatsports.com/fetch. If you haven't already downloaded the Fetch Rewards app, please go ahead and do so. Scan that receipt, and then that way you can get some extra bonus points where maybe if your wife was upset that you bought something, you're like, you know what, babe, here's a $5 gift card to go to Starbucks. Now, what I am going to show you here, which is a really cool Vanna White impression, how easy the Fetch Rewards app is to use, and how you can actually sync up your email, and how you can sync up your Amazon account. That way, when you buy something online, when you're just, shopping around, you then can convert all those points, and then bingo, bango, as you can see right here, the email got synced up, so if you buy something, you just automatically get rewarded for the points. If you buy something on Amazon, it's the exact same thing. So whether you're shopping at a restaurant, online, whether you're at a restaurant, all I want you to do is be a little bit more smarter with your money. Turn those receipts into free gift cards, and the amount of different gift cards that you can get is insane. So treat yourself to what you want. Download the app right now. It's free. Chatsports.com/fetch. Promo code Raiders for 3,000 bonus points. Now, I saw a projection, okay, that's what we're going to call it, from Vincent Bonsignore on Twitter about a potential Derek Carr deal, and the projection that he gave was a DC extension could look something like 2 years, $80 million. So when you hear $40 million a year, I don't want you to be like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but you have to think about it in terms of a contract extension, which is what Bonsignore said. So 3 years, $100 million. He projected $65 million guaranteed. So you're sitting somewhere around like $33.3 million per year for Derek Carr. Now, what exactly and how does that compare to some of these other quarterbacks? Well, here are the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL per year. You got Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen of the Bills, Dak, Watson, Wilson. I personally wouldn't put Carr up in this category. I believe he should probably be around the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks, but I personally wouldn't get him anywhere near $35 million. Now, in terms of the highest paid quarterbacks in terms of guaranteed, this is the type of money you're talking about in guaranteed contracts, which the $65 million that Bonsignore suggested, I actually didn't mind all that much because it's just so much of a step down from a lot of other guys. Now, sure, Jared Goff is the one name on here like, wow, that didn't work out for the Rams, which is why they ended up trading him away. That's why Detroit tried to go ahead and take on that deal. So let's just say you wake up tomorrow, you get a notification on your phone, Raiders report's going live. The Raiders, they extended Derek Carr $100 million for 3 years, $65 million guaranteed. I want you to go ahead and I want you to grade that. If you love it, type A. If you liked it, type B. You're like, it's okay move, type C. You hated it, D. If it's the worst deal you've ever seen, go ahead and type F. I personally would go ahead and give it a C- grade for 2 reasons, maybe 3. First reason is I don't want the Raiders to extend Derek Carr. Second reason is I think it's just too much money to give DC. I don't really personally believe that he has earned to make $33 million a year. I know you see certain quarterbacks making extra types of money, but I also know that I want the Raiders to win, and the cheaper Carr's contract is, then hey, that's going to help us win. So if I had to extend DC, I'd give him $30 million a year on the extension, okay? So what exactly does that mean? I'm going to lay out my Derek Carr contract extension. If the Raiders came up to me and they said, Mitch, you have to extend Derek Carr or you lose your job, Here's the deal that I would do. I would extend him for 2 years at $30 million a clip, which then basically makes it 3 years on top of the 19.9 he already has. So that's a total of 79.9. That's an average of $26.6 million a year. And I'm going to give him extra guarantees. So basically the 2-year extension is fully guaranteed. So 2 years fully guaranteed at $60 million. That's my projected Derek Carr extension. That's what I would do. And I want you guys to take a screenshot of this, post it on Twitter, post it on Instagram, and tag me because I want people to see my idea of what I would do for the Raiders organization. Now coming up here on the Raiders Report, ESPN, they released an article about 20 players that could be under the radar in terms of being trade candidates in the offseason. They mentioned Chase Winovich. Now, you're going to see this a lot. Why? Raiders went ahead, they brought in Ziegler. You went ahead and you hired Josh McDaniels. You're going to see a lot of Patriots players connected to Las Vegas, and they connected Winovich with Las Vegas. And the guy who ended up writing this article is Jeremy Fowler, who does have a lot of sources and is very well connected. Here's what Fowler had to say about linking Winovich to Las Vegas and why he thought all these trades made sense. Winovich was buried on the depth chart in year 2, failing to crack 22 defensive snaps in any game and recording DMPs in December's games. He gets knocked for his run defense, but can be a situational pass rusher somewhere. Perhaps new Raiders general manager Dave Ziegler, the Patriots de facto GM last year, will look into Winovich in exchange for a late-round pick. It's possible Las Vegas switches from a 4-3 to a 3-4 defensive formation. Now, last week, I went ahead and said, hey, guys, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get live on Instagram at MitchellRentz365. Fortunately, I went live on YouTube instead because the Raiders announced that they hired Dave Ziegler and they announced that they hired Josh McDaniels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it up to y'all, okay? I'm going to make it up to you, and I'm going to go live this Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to post it on my Instagram. But if you like what I do here on Tuesday shows, hopefully you're also going to like what you have to see tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Saturday as well. We're also going to talk about more trade rumors because not only was Winovich mentioned in this article, so was Clelin Ferrell. Ferrell was another player on this list, and it absolutely makes sense. The former 4th overall pick back in the 2019 draft. I'm telling y'all right now, the Raiders will not extend his 5th option. Remember, if you're drafted in the 1st round, you have that 5th option for players. For the Raiders, they will not give it to Clee. So it's going to be the final year on his deal. And if you're a team out there, you're like, all right, if we could actually move on from Ferrell, perhaps you go ahead and do so. Now, for the Raiders, if they go ahead and they trade Clelin Ferrell, it ends up saving them $4.77 million, okay? That's how much it saves the Raiders. They would have to eat $5.21 million, and whatever team would go out and would trade for Clee, they would pay his base salary. So that's somewhere around the $4 million figure. Clee's a good player. Not many teams are ever going to be interested in him for $4 million a year. However, though, if you can maybe go out and get something, that's what you're wrapping your mind around. So what I decided to do as a Raiders Report host is say, okay, if ESPN is saying Chase to the Raiders, and then Clee could be a trade option as well, here's a trade idea that I cooked up. Would you guys do this deal? The Raiders, they get Chase Winovich. The New England Patriots get Clelin Ferrell and then a 2022 5th-round pick. The reason why I threw in a 5th-round pick is 2 reasons. One, that way you kind of offset some of the costs and you can clear up some money for New England because, let's face it, Clee on that type of contract is a little bit of a stretch for a lot of organizations. And then on top of that, the Raiders, they have 2 5th-round picks, one of which was actually from, yes, the New England Patriots. I would just say, though, I would rather have the pick ahead of the other 5th-round pick. So who wins the trade? The Raiders or the Patriots? If you think the Raiders win this deal, I want you to type Raiders down in the comments. If you think the New England Patriots win this deal, I want you to go ahead and type Patriots. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about here on today's Raiders News and Rumors segment is ESPN. They ranked every single team, so all 32 teams, and their basically off-season capital is what they called it. The Raiders ranked number 12 on the list. So, top half. They have $31.7 million in overall cap space. They gave the Raiders a average grade in terms of their draft capital, But the fact that the Raiders are 12th best offseason, I do like that. I anticipate this team to be pretty aggressive this year. You're going to see a lot of teams try to be aggressive as well due to the cap space going up. You're going to see a lot more long-term contracts, but it's just another reason to sit down. Make sure you subscribe to the Raiders Report, because no matter what happens during the offseason, I promise you this, I'm going to keep you guys up to date. I'm going to do my best job possible. I don't take any days off. That's 100% fact. So make sure you guys subscribe, because I don't want you to miss anything this whole offseason.